Hello and welcome to D's ADD videos. Today we're going to look at a more intermediate example of finding the inverse. Let's look at this function here. We've got a square root, so we know it's 1 to 1. Remember, the graph is top half of a parabola on its side. You can always test it's 1 to 1 by plugging in one y value and solving for x, and you should just get one answer. So if you want to plug in whatever y value, 0, whatever it is, you should only get one x answer. All right, so what do? Well, business as usual. We're going to end up switching the x's and the y's and solving for y, just like we did before, nothing new. So when I switch x and y, I get this function here. X equals 5 times 3 minus 2y minus 4. Everything's the same. The only difference is these two switched. Now, the next step to solve for y would be to add 4 to both sides. And when I do so, I end up with the following expression. Now, you could divide both sides by 5. Actually, that's probably what you should do because you do the reverse of the order of operations, PEMDAS, do them in backwards order. But I actually squared both sides because people don't like fractions. Most professors won't care if you do it in that order, but some are picky, so make sure if your professor is a stickler for the rules like that. Most professors are okay as long as you end up with the right final destination. So upon squaring, we get x plus 4 squared equals 25 times 3 minus 2y. All right, so remember, when you square a square root, they cancel. It becomes 2 over 2, so that's why there's no exponent here. It becomes a 1. All right, I didn't make a mistake. That is a 1. So now what do? Well, we got to end up continuing to solve for y. So we got to divide both sides by the 25. We got to subtract that 3 over, and then either multiply or divide by a negative 1/2. So let's do that. The first thing we're going to do is divide that 25 on both sides. After you do that, you should end up with this expression. Then after we subtract the 3 from both sides, we end up with this expression. The last step would be to simplify. You can either multiply by negative 1/2 on both sides or divide by a negative 2 on both sides. Since we already got some fractions on the left side, it'd be easier to multiply both sides by negative 1/2. And in doing so, you end up with the following answer. Okay? So I'm not going to do the proof, but you should be able to plug in this whole thing where you see the x in this original function, and it should simplify to x. Or if you did it vice versa, you could plug in this whole original function here where you see the x, and it should still give you an x. Please do it as an exercise, as a proof. I believe all my steps are correct, so I'm going to not do it just for the interest of time. I hope I've answered any further questions you might have, or any doubts that you had are eliminated now. So as always, practice, practice, practice. Watching the videos, going to tutoring is only part of the equation. You have to be able to do these problems on your own and check your answers, make sure you're getting them right. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great day.